Hey guys, today it's kitchen implement day. Making a spatula. Stick with me. Tick, 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 boom. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. We are going to go over making one of these little doohickeys right here, a spatula. Not very hard. We're going to make it out of cedar. I already harvested a couple logs, and well, part of it's for the fire, part of it's for tool making. Let's get started. First thing we're going to do is take and split this bad boy up a little bit, make it a little bit more manageable, and see if we can get a nice slice off of it. Usually cedar will split pretty nicely. That's what I've made my other kitchen tools from. So let's see, I've got a big knot right here, a little one right there. Let me see if I can get to split off of that. That's gonna cause us some problems. All right, let's turn a little bit. Let's take, let's see if we can get something out of here. There we go. Alright guys, you'll notice that I wasn't trying to split the wood in half and make them into quarters or logs for the fire. What I was trying to do was exactly what I did, which was make a nice flat plank, which is going to be really nice base for making a spatula. I got a little carver's hatchet here. This is a velvet cut by Council Tool. It's a very nice little hatchet. This side has a little more ridges in it. I'm gonna go ahead and just knock them down a little bit. Always notice my thumb, I'm not overhanging it. I'm trying to keep it up here, and I'm not bringing the hatchet up any higher than I have to chop pretty much where I need to. I'd rather take off little pieces and little chunks rather than try to take off big gobs. This is more of a precise carving action rather than coming up here and really swinging, going for the fences. I'm just taking little bites out of it, and it's a lot safer that way. All right guys, we kind of got it dimensionalized a little bit. Nothing's ever going to be perfect in bushcraft, so just make it pretty decent. It's time to break out your crayons and your pencils. Let's start drawing. Take your pen and just, what, you don't have a pen? You don't carry a pen with you into the field? That's all right, we're going to cover that in a few seconds. We all know what a spatula looks like. This is going to be your spatula. You make it look like whatever you want to make it look like. I'm going to make mine how I want to make mine. Just like that, you've got a pretty decent layout of what it's going to look like. But what happens if you don't have a pen? What? If you don't carry a pen into the field with you, what are you going to do? Well, you can either eyeball it and make it from scratch just by your mind's eye. You can use a piece of charcoal. You could use a rock. You could use the back of your knife, carefully etching a pattern into it. I mean, do you think David Crockett and Daniel Boone had a pen? Do you think that they had a personal relationship with Sharpie or Bic? I don't think so. They bushcrafted stuff. They used their noggin, and they got along just fine. Just like that, with a piece of charcoal. All right guys, so real quick before we start carving this out, you gotta remember, this is wood. Wood runs in a grain, and the grain runs this way. So down here where we've got this little out jut for the spatula, if you start up here it's going to want to run and run and run right down that grain line wherever you started your cut. It's not going to know to stop here. It's only going to know to stop when it gets all the way down here at the very end. So if you're going to do something like this, you got to start here and run it that way. Now if you have an out cut here and here, then you got to be very careful and just carve away and make sure you're only taking the parts you want, because the wood doesn't know when to stop. You have to tell it when to stop. Well, that's not going to be very good. Look at that. What do I do? Well, let's use this half. It's the bigger half. So every now and then too, guys, you want to sit there, hold it in your hand and go, you know what, that's pretty big and thick and bulky. I'm going to whittle it down a little bit more. Hiya! Now we got it about functional. See how thick that is? That's going to be really hard to flip any food over. So let's work on this edge right here. Make it a little more spatula-like. Just about getting there. I'm going to knock a little bit off that edge. Alright guys, so as you saw, I used basically a saw to harvest the log. I used my big axe to harvest a hunk of wood. I used my smaller axe, my carving axe, to get the basic shape of what the spatula was. I used my knife, and then I also used my Leatherman saw to cut off a hunk as I was starting to get some broken pieces over here. But in the end, this is pretty much what you're left with. Is it a prize winner? No. Is it something that, you know, I'm gonna hang on my wall and go, this is the best piece of thing I've ever made in my entire life out of wood? No. But I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's useful, and it's gonna stir food, and it's gonna move food, and it's gonna flip food, and that's what I need it for. So, the purpose of this is to show you it doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be a piece of artwork in order to work. Now guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here. Do me a favor, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, share the heck out of this thing. Find me out there on Instagram. That's Bombproof_Bushcraft, Bombproof_Bushcraft. Find me out there on the Facebook, Bombproof Bushcraft, and Library, LBRY. Find me out there, guys, every Friday night, 8 o'clock on Bushcraft Survival, Primitive Skills, Mickey Wilson. It's a group on Facebook. I do a live show at 8 o'clock every single Friday. I talk about all kinds of bushcrafty stuff. So come on in, join me there. And until next week, guys, get out of the inside and into the outside. Take care.